So this is where we have culmination, the opposition. This is where we have two planets who are engaged in an interaction between two complementary processes. But they appear, before the opposition is solved, to be either unrelated or to be inimical to each other, at odds. So when we solve an opposition, true relationship between opposing but complementary processes can develop, and we can have this integration, this completeness, instead of this war of the self that occurs with oppositions. So that's what we are going for. That's what we are shooting for with an opposition, is this integration of the interaction of these two complementary processes. Processes are planets. So there's a repolarization that occurs with oppositions. This is an angle of 180 degrees. And how many times in our language do we hear, oh, they did a 180 and now they're a different person? Or they did a 180 and they totally flipped on me. Or they did a 180 and now I don't know what to think. It's a common expression that really does mean that there was a total turnaround. And that's what we see with oppositions, as potentially a total turnaround, a repolarization. When we're looking at oppositions, we are looking at what does this particular situation, conflict, mean for this person? What is the significance of this particular conflict in the life of this person? Because oppositions are very much where we tear away from an old mode of behavior, we repolarize, and we find meaning. We get into the driver's seat with an opposition when we solve it. So there is a responsibility that we come to, because we understand how our own behavior, which often with an opposition is coming from an unconscious place because it's of the beginning. It's what we've come into this world with. It's what we've come from. It is related to the past. It's what we're compulsively acting out of. Once we understand this and the implications that it has, the effects that it has, we realize how much we have say over our own destiny. At the beginning of our life, when we have oppositions, we are functioning mainly out of the past and out of biological imperatives. We are functioning out of instinct. A lot of times we're functioning out of outdated coping mechanisms that were put in place at a very young age. And so we don't recognize with oppositions how the two factors are related. We don't understand how the one is resulting in the other. And so with oppositions, we tend to see them as strong projections. We see it as something outside of myself that is happening to me. Something within the environment. Something that has to do with other. Like, if you would just be different, then I could be happy. We have to recognize in ourselves what it is that is the seed of the fruit that we're seeing in the world? What is the fruits of our behaviors? Consequences are where we get a clue with oppositions. We see how something is reflected back. What do we keep getting? A lot of times, our oppositions are where we keep banging our head against a brick wall. They're points of insanity. And the old adage that the definition of insanity is that you keep doing something over and over again, expecting a different result. That is not the definition of insanity. That is the definition of stupidity. Doing something over and over again and expecting a different result. It's stupid behavior. It's not insane, it's stupid. Oppositions are where we can be potentially chronically stupid because we don't realize what we're doing. And so when we have that werewolf moment, this is when we realize, oh my God, I think this might have something to do with me. And these can be painful moments because typically with oppositions, we've seen something that's been happening to us outside of ourselves for a very long time. And oppositions, when we come to that head, it can be humiliating. But these lead us to our moments of ultimate awareness.